with me, radical Islam is the evil in our time.
Yes, sir.
And Iran represents the biggest threat.
Because it would couple a radical Islamic regime with nuclear weapons.
That can't happen.
There could be evil that is not threatening because it doesn't have the powers of mass murder. But when you couple a radical Islamic regime that says death to America with the weapons of mass death, then you have a much, much bigger problem.
A squared, B squared, C squared. Radical Islamic terrorists, weapons of mass destruction equals a modern-day Holocaust?
It's up to us to prevent it.
All right, that was Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on this program last night talking about the threat posed by a nuclear Iran. Joining us now with the reaction, author of Besiege, retired Brigadier General Tony Tata, former spokesperson for the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Fox News contributor Rick Grenell. Rick, I think it's pretty clear, but he stood on the stage for so long as a voice in the wilderness. Now he has a partner. What changes now?
All of the allies that we have in the region are desperate to have U.S. leadership. So when Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu get together and they lay out a plan for pushing back and isolating Iran, there's a lot of cheers from the Middle East leaders. We have seen not just terror cells from the Iranians, but literally a strategy for Iran to place competing military forces in places like Iraq, in Syria, in Lebanon. They are not going to stop. They want it in Turkey. And what the Middle East and Arab leaders are now standing up and seeing is that the United States is saying, we are going to once again push back the Iranians and isolate them. There are a lot of cheers coming up from the Middle East on that.
Yeah, and let me play for you a moment about this new coalition, General, where I ask him, are the Saudis, the Egyptians, the Jordanians joining forces with Israel? Let me play this cut for you.
I'm reading the tea leaves, and what I'm hearing from you is that there is an alliance that perhaps is emerging that maybe nobody ever anticipated before, that goes way beyond a one or two state solution, and that which would fit into the not only against Iran but also the Palestinian issues.
I'm trying to throw a very cunning journalist off track. So.
Is that what?
But look,
I'm looking for hope more than
I think there's a lot of hope. I think there's hope first in their resolve to resist these terrorists, these brutes, and second in the understanding that we can forge new relationships that we never had before.
General, did you pick up what I picked up during that press conference, this emerging alliance, something much bigger than people or even have conceived of before?
I think so, Sean, and I think your conversation with the Prime Minister contributed to that whole discussion to further it along. That's how important I think that was. What he's really talking about and what you're talking about is stopping Iranian hegemony in that region. You got to remember, they're supporting Hamas, they're supporting Hezbollah, the Sunni and Shia Arabic members of the transnational terrorist group that is trying to wipe Israel off the face of the map. So they want to get rid of Iranian hegemony. They see Iran in Iraq halfway up, all the way up to Mosul. That's not to fight ISIS. That's to create more breathing room.
Could we take out those sites? Let's say if all that alliance comes together, the Brits also join in, and I'm short on time. General, we'll start with you. Can we take out those nuclear sites without boots on the ground?
We could. It's better to have boots on the ground. Some of our secret folks on the ground with lasers that can do that. But yes, absolutely, we could.
And you agree with that, Rick?
Look, I think that we need to have boots on the ground because you get timely intelligence. What we've seen inside Syria
but not a lot of boots,
is that
not
it just
an army.
doesn't. No, enough for intelligence. We need timely intelligence, and that's all we need.
All right, guys, good to see you both. Appreciate it. That's an important discussion.